So today I'm going to be talking about the most boring but high paying business model that got me this 1 million subscriber plaque right here and helped me to start 2 7-figure businesses on the side. And basically, this is a business model that anyone can do, right? And it's the hybrid personal brand. Now, this is a little bit different than the personal brand. Don't click off the video just because I said personal brand, right? It's a little bit different because this is a business model that is actually quite boring most of the time when it's executed correctly. All right. So, what do I mean by this? Well, the other day I was talking to a client, someone who is, starting on YouTube. So this is a very competent human being. This person has a cybersecurity background. He has a clearance, like top secret clearance in the US government. He's a very competent human being. He's had some extremely high level jobs. He makes multiple 6 figures per year. He's extremely competent. And I was, he was trying to get me to help him pick the correct niche. And he was talking about all kinds of weird stuff like video games and how to play this game better and how to be better at game theory and how to, do all these weird things, history. And I was just like, dude, you are in the top 99.99th percentile at cybersecurity. And why wouldn't you just do that? There's tons of people out there that want to talk about video games and, history and all this other stuff. It's fun, right? Of course, people want to talk about that. But you can actually give value to the world by educating people about cybersecurity. You could literally just teach them about cybersecurity, or you could teach people how to get jobs in cybersecurity, or there's so many different ways you could monetize that skill set. But he's like, well, that's kind of boring. I'm kind of bored with cybersecurity. That's the point, right? That's the point. Because of the fact that it's so boring, there's not a lot of supply and there's a whole lot of demand. It's boring. So there's a lot of people who need it. And there's not a lot of people who can do it or who even want to do it, right? And, we need to get away from this concept of everything that you do, you need to love 100% of the time. I'm just passionate about every moment of my life. And, if I'm not passionate, then I'm not going in the right direction. Realistically, guys, you think the garbage man is passionate about his life? Probably not, but he's necessary for society, or else we'd have freaking trash all over the street. Right? You think the firefighter is passionate about running into burning buildings? Probably not, but he rescues people, right? So this whole notion of needing to be passionate about every freaking thing you do is a little absurd. Now, with that being said, you probably shouldn't hate what you do, right? There's a spectrum here. Some people are going to be a little bit more on the passion side, and some people are going to be a little bit more on the practicality side, but you probably shouldn't hate what you do. So when you create a hybrid personal brand, which I will explain what that is here in a moment, a lot of the time, this is going to be something that you're not necessarily super passionate about, and it can be pretty boring, right? Because what you're essentially doing is you are teaching the younger version of yourself how to overcome problems that you had in the past. Most of the time, when you do a hybrid personal brand, that's essentially what you're doing. You're teaching the younger version of yourself how to overcome problems. So imagine that you had a time machine. You could go back in time and you could teach, you could basically go back in a part of your life where you're feeling a lot of pain. You had a serious problem, that needed to be overcome. And you could teach yourself how to overcome that problem with what you know now. How much time, effort, and money would you have saved yourself? Right. So this is exactly what I thought when I first started my channel. I thought, man, I really wish that I could have gone back in time and educated myself about how the US education system actually works and how basically just the economy in general and just jobs in general worked. Right. Because as a kid, I was taught a lot of really bad information. As even a high schooler, I was taught a lot of really bad information, and it resulted in me going to college and getting multiple 6 figures in student loan debt. And I got an okay job, but it was a job that I was just I didn't really like it that much. I was a pharmacist during the pandemic. It kind of sucked. And so, I really wish that I could have gone back in time and educated myself and told myself about these other opportunities. For instance, getting a remote job. There's a lot of remote jobs out there where there's a ton of opportunity. It's actually quite easy to land these remote jobs. You don't need a college degree or previous experience. And a lot of the time, these remote jobs can land you, later on down the line, jobs that are even higher paying than pharmacist. And the lifestyle and how much you make and, just everything is going to be better because you have a lot more freedom. You don't have to commute to work. You don't have to do any of that, right? That's what I basically wanted to do is I wanted to educate myself, like the younger version of myself about that stuff. Now, the thing is like I already knew that stuff. Like at this point, I'd been educated about it. I already knew about it. So it's actually pretty boring to talk about it, especially after the first time I talked about it. You make one video, it's a little cathartic. You get to rant a little bit. It's kind of fun. But after you make the same video ideas and video topics over and over again, it's dead boring. Okay. It can get dead boring. But the thing is you need to stop focusing on yourself and you need to start focusing on your viewers and your potential customers, people that buy your products or your services or your affiliate links. You need to focus on them because they were in a situation that you used to be in and they badly needed somebody to tell them, to educate them on what they should have done in that situation that would have saved them a tremendous amount of time, effort, and money, right? So I also had another client a few years back, actually a few months back, yeah. And this client, she had extensive experience writing grants. She literally had gotten approved for like $100 million+ in grants. So grant writing is a very valuable skill because if you get really good at it, you can get approved for massive grants for different companies, different nonprofits, etc. And we were going through the exercise to help her pick her niche, or at least some of the video ideas that she was going to make videos on. And we saw that she had a massive amount of experience in grant writing, so it's just kind of a no-brainer. Like that's what she should make her niche about. There's also lots of other people making money doing this and teaching other people how to do it too. So it's just an absolute no-brainer. And she decided, you know what? I want to go and teach people about penny stocks. And I'm like, okay, well, how much experience do you have in penny stocks? And she's like, oh, well, I just started. And I'm like, okay, well, you have a massive amount of experience in grant writing. You're literally in the top 99.9th percentile in grant writing. And you want to teach people about penny stocks? That doesn't even make sense. I mean, you don't even know anything about penny stocks. You're like in the bottom 10th percentile in penny stocks. Why would you teach other people how to do that? She just wanted to because it was fun. Like she's having fun with penny stocks, right? So she wanted to teach other people how to do it too. And I'm just like, fundamentally, I can't help you with this because I don't want you to give a bunch of bad information to the market that's going to cause a bunch of people to lose money when you don't even know what the heck you're doing in the first place. I mean, if you're teaching penny stocks, you need to at least be in the top like 80th percentile, right? Even if you're teaching beginners, or else the stuff you're teaching, you're just going to lose people money left and right. You know what I mean? So I couldn't do it. I just fundamentally couldn't do it. And I refused to help her do that. And she really didn't like it too much, but that's fine. And, grant writing, on the other hand, she could have given a tremendous amount of value to the market with grant writing, teaching people how to do that. Because there's a lot of people that have done that. I've even done it in the past, and it's not easy. It's not easy to get approved for grants. So that's kind of the point is a lot of the time, the stuff that is the most profitable, the stuff that really gives the most value to society is not going to be the funnest stuff. Right? If you have been repairing Toyotas for the last 30 years, you're a Toyota mechanic, you've probably seen every possible permutation and combination of Toyota problems that you could have ever seen. And it's probably not that much fun for you anymore to repair Toyotas. But guess what? Society needs it, right? And when you repair people's cars, they're very grateful and they will pay you money for that, right? And it's the same thing with making content on YouTube. Very, very few people get to just have fun all the time making content. I mean, even the people who are professional gamers, they can't even enjoy the game anymore because every single time they play the game, they have to train themselves to play it at a incredibly high level. So they can't even play it, at a low level anymore. They have to like be counting frame rates and like all kinds of stuff like that. So it kind of like ruins the game for them. And I've met professional gamers before and they'll tell you the same thing. It kind of ruins the game in some ways for them. So it's no longer a hobby anymore. Like they have to treat it like a business. I mean, probably the best basketball player in the world right now, Jokic, right? Nikola Jokic or Jokic, something like that. The Serbian dude. He's like, basketball it's just a job for me. That's it. He's not even passionate about it anymore. It's just a job for him. right? Because he has to take it so fucking seriously that it's not fun anymore when you take shit that seriously. Whereas you go play basketball at your local rec league, yeah, it's fun. You know, you're not taking it that seriously. So it's a lot of fun. So you really need to realize like you need to have a balance there. You don't want to do something that you hate by any means. I'm not telling you to do that. But you really want to focus on what you can do that gives society like the most value to society. And the easiest way to do that is just to think, what problems could you have solved for the younger version of yourself that would have given you a ton of extra time, effort, or money, or saved you a ton of extra time, effort, or money? And the answer to that is probably what you should make your content on, right? So, uh, yeah, another example from one of my clients. This is an example of someone who does something extremely boring. Um, he is a financial controller, so that is a very high level accounting position. And as a financial controller, he helps accountants become financial controllers. Now, financial controllers make like over 200,000 a year. They make really good money. And, you know, he teaches accountants specifically who usually make probably 50 to 100K per year how to become financial controllers who oftentimes will make over 200K per year. So they can double or even triple their salary by learning the skills of a financial controller, right? And so that gives a lot of value to accountants who want to upgrade. With that being said, do you think he's passionate about teaching people how to crunch numbers all day long? Teaching people how to basically tell what other people in the company are not providing enough value and therefore they need to be fired? Because that's essentially what he does as a financial controller. Do you think he's passionate about that? No, he probably is not passionate about it. It's a job for him. And it's a job for him to teach accountants how to become financial controllers too. But guess what? He's absolutely crushing it teaching people how to do this, right? So, you know, it's just I could give you example after example after example of doing this, right? All these different clients who have gotten incredibly bored at what they do. Sometimes the clients were extremely passionate about it at first, but then over time they get bored with it. And a lot of the time, that's the best business, right? So another example is my client Seth, who's been teaching people how to become digital marketers for about 10 years now. And at first, it was awesome. It was super fun. I love teaching digital marketing. Now it's super boring. He's been doing the same thing for 10 years. Basically the same stuff over and over again for 10 years. It's gotten pretty boring for him. But guess what? It's a great business. He helps people become digital marketers and he's changed thousands and thousands of people's lives. And that's what keeps him going is not his own, mindless self-indulgence. It's the fact that he's helping other people. And that's what you should really be more focused on is helping other people, right? And when it comes to the hybrid personal brand business model, I know I'm kind of ranting about this and there's a reason I'm ranting about it. But when it comes to the hybrid personal brand business model, this is what really changed my life because if you choose an exact business model, like let's say you choose to start an agency or you choose to start a SaaS or you choose to, all these different business models, e-commerce, you're selling physical products. The problem with that is you end up pigeonholing yourself. And chances are the very first business, quote unquote, that you start is not going to be successful. Whereas if you start a hybrid personal brand, it's you and you are a living, breathing human being who is going to change and you're going to have other things that interest you and other things that you could help people with. And as you work with more people, you might even discover like, oh, this is actually a better opportunity. And so you can actually change because you're starting a YouTube channel and a personal brand where you can pivot and you can change your niche. Now, if it is something that you absolutely hate, you have that option to pivot later on. Or if it's something that's not very profitable, you have that option to pivot later on. If it's something that works now but doesn't work a year from now, you have that option to pivot later on because it's a hybrid personal brand. Think about it like this. The reason human beings have been so successful is literally just one massive thing over any other type of animal. We can adapt. Think about any other type of animal out there. If you take a lizard and you put them in the North Pole, or you put them even in north of Alaska, right? It's really cold. They're going to die within like an hour, probably, right? Because they're cold. You take an animal from the North Pole, who has a lot of fur, like huskies, for instance, right? I see people that have huskies in tropical environments. Those huskies, you better keep those things inside because they're hot all the time. Those things can die from heat stroke if you're not careful, right? It's because they've adapted to being in a very cold environment, right? And so you take any of these animals, you put them in the wrong environment, the wrong ecosystem, they're going to die. It's just a matter of time. Even if they don't die right away, their family lineage is going to die off because other animals just have an advantage. Human beings, on the other hand, we've been able to conquer every single ecosystem that we've been a part of because of the fact that we can adapt. And that is the power of the hybrid personal brand, is as things change, as the environment changes around you, you can adapt to it because it's the ultimate business model. You can literally launch businesses using your hybrid personal brand. You can launch an agency here. You can launch a coaching program here. You can launch a physical product here. All these different businesses, a SaaS, because of your hybrid personal brand. So if one of them doesn't do well, it's okay. You don't have to shut your whole business down. You just shut that one thing down and you focus on the other ones that are doing better, right? And if one niche doesn't do well, you got a personal brand. You can pivot niches. I've pivoted like 5 times already, right? You can do that when you start a hybrid personal brand. Whereas if you just start a YouTube channel where it's like, I don't know, like just calling yourself the IT guy or something, like, well, you're always going to be the IT guy in that case, right? But if you start a YouTube channel with a hybrid personal brand name, like Shane Hummus, for instance, you can pivot to a lot of different things and you can start a bunch of different businesses. People are getting elected president with their personal brands. People are becoming the richest man in the world with their personal brands right now. And it's all right in front of your face. And if you're not doing this, you're making a huge mistake because it is basically the ultimate business model. This is the business model where you can adapt to any environment that you find yourself in. Anything that happens in your life, you can use it. When life gives you lemons, you can turn that into lemonade and you can make money helping other people overcome that same problem that you had, right? There's a really good offer I saw where this person had a serious brain fog, right? And they were a high achiever, so it was really screwing them up. And they figured out how to overcome their brain fog because brain fog is basically inflammation in the brain. And then they made an offer where they teach other high achievers like entrepreneurs and executives, et cetera, how to overcome brain fog. And they're crushing it right now. Brilliant offer. What did they do? Life gave them lemons. They made it into lemonade. And you can do the same exact thing when you have a hybrid personal brand. And that's the wonderful thing about it. So if you haven't thought, like if you're thinking about starting a business model, you've already started a business, you're a beginner, you're advanced, doesn't really matter. You need to start a hybrid personal brand. And that is exactly what we teach people how to do. So we'll have some free resources down in the description in the pinned comment below, teach you exactly how we did it. Also, check out this video right here where I'll go over exactly how I got my first business to 7 figures a year. Have a good one.